Now, before we can expect any traffic to stay around on our WordPress blog, we need to do some customization. Most themes you install by default really don't look all that good until you spend time to go through and fine-tune what you want to see. And WordPress comes with a great built-in customizing tool that'll let you get started. I'm Mike with WriterSanctuary, and today we're going to take a look at the WordPress Customizer. Before we get started, don't forget to hit the like button, and if you want to see more videos about building a better blog, hit subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can always hit me up on social media or use the contact form on WriterSanctuary.com's website. Now, the WordPress Customizer is kind of a basic way of fine-tuning what a website's going to look like. You are kind of limited as to what things you can change depending on the developer, because every theme is going to be different. Now, there's a ton of different ways you can customize WordPress to do or look any way you want. And later on, I'll go through and demonstrate some of that with tools like MicroThemer or even adding CSS code. But for now, we're going to try to keep it simple and easy. Now, to access the WordPress Customizer, you just go over to Appearance and hit Customize. Now, by default, the Customizer will load up any theme you have currently activated. And in this case, it's the Econo Nature Light. But if you want to customize any other themes that you have installed, you just go over here where it says Change. And then you pick your theme that you want to adjust. This lets you customize the WordPress theme without having it activated and switching back and forth. So like right now, if I wanted to customize 2020 for the hell of it, everybody who visits my website in the meantime will see the one I have activated, which is the Econo Nature Light. That way I can make all the changes I want, I can fool around with it, and all the visitors will be none the wiser because the only thing they'll see is the Econo Nature Light. Now, every theme and every developer is going to be different. Some themes will have a slew of tools on the left that'll adjust to anything you see, but it's completely up to the developer on how much they want to add to it. In this case, I have control of quite a bit, including the right sidebar. Now, this window gives you a preview of what your theme could look like while you're making your changes. So like if I wanted to go to site identity, I can change the site title, I can change the tagline. Or if I wanted to change colors, I can go into here and change all the different text. So like a color scheme, if I wanted to be more dark green, and see how it changed the hello world and all the other settings here. Now you can use the color picker, or you can enter in your own hexadecimal if you have it. And then you can change the background color of the footer, which is this bottom guy right here. So if I wanted to say I wanted that to be green, but I want it to be a dark green. There we go. And there we go. Oh, and now we hit back, and I do want to remove some of the things on the right side. So the sidebar settings, so that would be under widgets. I want to get rid of recent posts because I'm going to be adding a tool called Top 10, and that's kind of cool the way I have it set up. So I'm going to show you how to do that once we get to that point. But since I want to be putting that in there, I'm just going to get rid of the recent posts because it doesn't really matter. And I'm going to get rid of the meta because no one's going to log into this website anyway. I'm going to get rid of recent comments because I really don't care for it too much, to be honest. So then we go back and we can look at all the different things we can change here. We got homepage settings, slider setting, the top bar, which is up here, the homepage boxes, how you want to control. Now each theme is going to be different. Not every theme is going to have home box settings. It all depends on what you have and what you want to see it change into. And almost every theme that I've ever seen has the additional CSS field on the bottom left. If you just click into it, this lets you put in custom CSS code. Now what this does is that it overrides whatever the theme has in it, so you can change certain things like colors or header dimensions. But you gotta be kind of careful with it because there's a few things I tried doing in it that some themes will let you do and other themes won't. So I don't know, it's kind of iffy, really. I've heard a lot of people have nothing but great success using the additional CSS field here, but I haven't. I'd say about 70% of the time I have to go into the file and change it manually anyway. But if you want to give it a try, get the additional CSS right there. So we just hit the back button. Each one's going to be completely different, so go through and change the theme how you want it to look and add a little bit of spice to it. Make it more custom to what you're trying to build. Like later on, when I get some pages built, I'm going to come back into the customizer and change how the homepage works. Instead of just showing the most recent post, it's going to show a homepage style and then any of the plugins and tools that I add to it. But I wanted to show you this before we start creating content, just so that you have an idea of what you can do in WordPress. And this is just the basic form of it. There's all kinds of different ways you can customize it. But for a beginner, this is probably the best place to start. And then once you have all the changes you want, you just hit the publish button and everything's live. Now you don't have to hit the publish. If you hit the X on the top left, it'll just close it out. It'll ask you, are you sure you want to? You just hit yeah, and then none of your changes are saved. And something else you want to keep in mind with the customizer, you do have a controls here at the bottom where you can see what it looks like on a desktop, a tablet, or a smartphone. This way you can kind of get an idea of how your website is going to look on a mobile device. Now normally I don't use this part of it. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Most of the time I just shrink my browser window because WordPress by default is responsive. So if you were to shrink down your website in the browser in like something like Chrome, then WordPress will automatically adjust everything for mobile devices. So you can shrink it all the way down to simulate what a Galaxy S8 looks like. Now the reason you do this is because a lot of your traffic is going to come from mobile devices. On WriterSanctuary.com, about 25% of the people who visit the website use mobile technology, but on like something like the gaming blog that I have, almost half of them do. So every niche and every blog is going to be different, but you still want to make sure that all of your website looks great on a mobile device. So that's using the WordPress Customizer. As you can see, it's pretty easy and basic to use. Now the one thing to keep in mind is that when you change anything in the customizer, all those changes you make will be saved. So if the developer pushes out an update to your theme, you don't have to worry about anything getting erased. But if you were to go through and change files directly and hard code some CSS or some PHP, when there's an update, there's a good chance those changes can get deleted. At that point, that's when you would rely on a child theme, and we'll cover that a little bit later because we are going to be making some custom changes, so I will need a child theme. But not to worry because it's not as difficult as you might think. But from the beginner standpoint, the customizer is a great tool to start with, and you can adjust quite a bit depending on the developer. So what kind of options do you have in your theme? Leave in the comments down below. So far, still one of my most feature-rich themes is either Color News or Color Mag from Theme Grill. That's what I use for WriterSanctuary.com and Colorado Plays. There's just a lot you can do to it. It's more of a magazine layout, and I might switch to one of those later on, depending on how well we can get this one to work. Like, this is my first time using the Econo Nature Light, so we're going to see just how far we can take it. And once I build some more pages and some more content, we're going to go through and make some fine-tuning adjustments in the customizer. But anyway, if you find the video informative, hit the like button. If you want to see more videos about building a better blog, freelance writing, WordPress, or anything else I cover, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. I think that's going to do it for me today. I'll see you tomorrow.